What's rock climbing got to do with innovation for sustainability? Let's find out about that in a few moments. We know that we need to change things if we want to slow down the effects of climate change. We know that weather events will happen more frequently, and we know that people will have to leave their home countries if this becomes worse. Personally, we all can do our bit, but the big levers are for businesses. If we change the way we do business, we have the power to turn this around. There are companies who show that it can be very good, even financially, to do less harm or even have a positive impact for our home planet. If companies want to contribute to a better future and also want to make a profit, there are good concepts around to start an innovation process. And everyone working in a company can try to start such a process. Sometimes it might need some convincing, but often people are really happy if those projects start. It's a lot of fun to engage in this, and it keeps people engaged in the company and working on the future of the company. So it might be the perfect time for you to start such a project, and it might be very welcomed by your company. If you need some convincing, I will give you some arguments in this video, and I will also share the methods and techniques that worked from my experience. As sustainability innovation feels a lot like an uphill battle, and as I do a lot of rock climbing at the moment, I will stay within this topic and use rock climbing as an analogy to sustainability innovation processes. I had a lot of fun recording this video, but I was also terribly scared because I was doing something which I normally never do. So how can we start an innovation process? How can we make sure that it's not only good for the environment and the world around us, but also good for the business? How to find the best opportunities and how to be creative in such a process. Are there any methods that will help for that? We will find out about that. I usually get my best ideas outdoor, especially after a day rock climbing, because after my brain being occupied just climbing and searching for the next steps and for the next holes, my brain seems like a magnet for ideas. And that for me is one of the first reasons why typical innovation projects have a problem, because it's not accounting for different working methods, for different inspiration sources, and for different ways of working. But there are really good methods to cater for that. I will explain those along the way while I explain the 5 steps that I usually see for innovation. Just like in rock climbing, good preparation is the key. In rock climbing, I assess the rock and I pack the right gear and I pack the right people. And for innovation projects, it's the same. I need to find out about the challenges and I need to find out about what we want to solve, what are the ideas that are possible, and so on. As a preparation for the project, I like to do a customer survey to find out what are their sustainability challenges, or I like to do and work along the TCFD risk and opportunity assessment table. Then, just like for a climbing expedition, I like to get together the perfect team. And I also want to include some experts who give insights into the field and also to set up everything to be on the same frame. The goal here is to give everyone the same understanding and to prep everyone with the existing ideas and the challenges that are ahead. Then the next step is to start the actual innovation process. And as in rock climbing, everyone has a different style. Some people just directly jump into a route without preparation. Others want to prepare for days to be ready for it. It's the same in working for innovation processes. Some people like to work in a group setting, discussing as a group. Some people want to do some silent work, and some even go outside and are inspired by nature and get their best ideas out there. So when I arrange a workshop, I make sure that all the different working styles are catered for. We have a set of group discussions, set of silent work alongside each other, and there might be even a walk outside to get some inspiration. I believe that workshop concepts that cater for these different working styles are much more effective than the typical brainstorming workshops where usually always the same people talk and share their ideas only. In rock climbing, I get feedback on the spot. either everything works out well and I get all the holds that I want to get, or sometimes it simply doesn't. Woo! And that was scary. I believe that in the innovation process, we also need to strive for this quick feedback. We need to get feedback in by customer surveys or customer interviews, or we might even build a prototype and test it on the market before we really finish the product. Then the next point for me is being quick enough, having quick decisions, but also not spending too much time. As you might remember, according to Parkinson's law, a task takes as much time as you give it time. So if you use 2 hours to set up for a task to be done, this will be sufficient, same as if you give it 2 days. The goal here is to make everything good enough, but not perfect, because we don't want to spend time perfecting some innovations before we have even tested or get some feedback inside. Also, quick decisions are key. For the decision part, there are also great techniques to get that involved in a workshop. We can use polling, or we can go for a decider role of someone who is deciding for the group and some group advisory. For example, there are great concepts in the design sprint processes. Then the last step, directly after celebrating the innovation process, needs to be consistent monitoring and improving the innovation. And if you want to know how to start this whole process of innovation and how to find out about your challenges of your sector, of your company, then I would recommend you to watch this video where I explain the method of the TCFD Task Force Risk and Opportunity Table.